Alright, so they didn't have me practice this afternoon. So faculty doesn't know what my speech is about, which is probably for the best. It's so surreal to me that I'm up here right now, and it still really hasn't sunk in. But before I start, there are a couple of people that I need to thank for helping me get to this point. The first is my fiance, Kelly. Thank you for the constant love and support. The many hours you spend with me in the library studying when you didn't have any homework. It means a lot, and you did note cards for me while I kept studying. I want to thank my parents for always being in my corner and sending me money so I could eat. Trust me, when I'm studying till 2 a.m., going to Sheetz and getting $1.50 hot dogs is a huge plus. I want to thank Nathan Wendell. Alright, never mind. Finally, I want to thank my clinical instructors, you know who you are, for not giving me unsatisfactories on my paperwork when I definitely deserved it. Instead, you believed in me that I could do better, and that forced me to be better. I'll be honest, when I was preparing this speech, I didn't know what to talk about. And if you know me at all, I literally always have something to say. So when I started to think about it, I realized that college is full of experiences. So I want to share some of the experiences that I had in nursing school with you tonight. 5 years ago, I started my journey to become a nurse. A normal BSN at Marsh University takes 4 years to achieve. I managed to stretch that out into 5 years. And I'm sure you're wondering yourself, Ben, why did it take you 5 years to finish a 4-year degree? Well, in my second semester of nursing school, I failed a class. And it was a huge blow for me. I had let myself down, and I was incredibly disappointed. But I wasn't going to give up. Becoming a nurse was all I had ever wanted to do. I didn't have a backup plan. I wanted to be a nurse. There was no plan B. I had no choice but to wait 1 semester before I could retake the class. This time I knew what I needed to do to be successful. I needed this experience because it humbled me. It showed me the first time that nursing school was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think nursing school was going to be easy, but I didn't expect it to be that difficult. On to junior year. The experiences I had here were something. Can I get an amen? Amen. From day 1 of junior year, I was struggling. Fall semester went well enough, but then spring semester hit hard and fast. I failed the first 2 tests of the year, and I'm not saying I failed with like a 74, which is almost passing. I failed and I failed hard. It happens. I was discouraged, I was incredibly anxious, and the passion of being a nurse was draining out of me. But I wasn't going to fail. I started studying every day, and that's not an exaggeration. I would literally take a test on Monday, rest, and Tuesday I would start preparing for the next test. I was eating and breathing nursing. And I knew I was never going to be an A student, and I was willing to accept passing with 78s and 80s. But I knew I needed to be really good in clinical because I didn't have the book knowledge and the test taking skills I wasn't going to get honors. I wasn't going to graduate magna, summa, or cum laude. That wasn't in the cards for me. But clinical is where I thought I was really good. I could talk with any patient. I was confident in my skills, and I loved learning about the different procedures and diseases and just treatments in general. I loved clinical, and I put a lot of pressure on myself to do well. The other part of clinical, the paperwork part, as I mentioned before, was not the best, but that's irrelevant, because I'm here now. So I've shared kind of 2 negative experiences about nursing school, and that's not who I am. I'm really not a negative person, so I want to share a couple of patient interactions that really had an impact on me. I want to do pediatrics, and I did my preceptorship on Cabell's Peds floor, and we had a kid come in, and he had broke his leg or something, and I think he was playing kickball, and he was playing video games, and I just took 15 minutes to sit down and play a video game with him and talk with his family, talk to him about what he wanted to do, because he was graduating high school soon, and I wanted to get to know him well. And that was really important to me, to take that time and really sit down and get to know your patients. It was huge. And then another experience I had was this little lady who I was taking care of. And because I put so much pressure on myself to do well in clinical, I was usually a nervous wreck most of the time. And I was pushing something through her IV, and my hands were shaking, I was sweaty, like just the whole knees weak, arms are heavy. But she just told me to take a deep breath and calm down. And I was looking out here, there was way more people than I thought when I planned on this speech. I was like, wow, there'll be like 100 people there. No, there's way more than that. So I really had to take a deep breath and calm down, and that's important also. But those 2 years of nursing school defined me as a nurse. The humbling experience of realizing how difficult nursing school actually was and putting in the work every day to pass helped me get a job. When I was interviewing for the position I got at Dayton Children's, they asked me what my 5-year goal was. And that's a weird question. No one really knows how to answer it because you don't be like, I want to go on and do bigger and better things. But I told them I want to get more certifications. I wanted to be PAL certified. I wanted to be a CPN. But that wasn't enough. I kept going and saying on every floor there were a few nurses that everyone goes to. That nurse you go to for a heart stick. That nurse you go to for a second opinion on an assessment. And I want to be that nurse. But to be that nurse, you have to put in the work as a new grad. And that's what I told them. I said, I'm willing to put in that work whatever shift you want me to work, listen to my preceptors, my orientation, and just really heed their advice. And the real learning starts now. Yeah, we have a piece of paper, school's over, BSN, RN soon is behind our names, but it's only the beginning. I'm ecstatic to be on the stage, and I'm so happy to finally walk on Saturday. But I'm not finished, and neither should you guys be. For the sake of my patients, your patients, we need to be sponges and absorb every piece of knowledge on the floor. We have to know our stuff. I'm not going to end this speech with ridiculous advice like be yourself or it's about the journey, not the end. Because honestly, some of you are older than me and have way more experience with life and healthcare. So nothing I can say is really going to impact on you. But I got into nursing because I want to make a difference in what could be the worst moment in someone's life. I want to form relationships with my patients. I want them to look back at their stay in the hospital, not with negativity, but with positivity. I want them to say, we had this great nurse when we were here. He was fantastic. Don't forget that the basis of nursing is caring. Care for the whole person, care for the family, and remember, everything will be just fine.